Welcome to another episode of the Grow Wisely podcast. I'm Nick Parker, your host, and today we're going to be answering questions I hear from franchise owners across the country. Whether you run one location or several, the challenges are similar. Today's Q&A breaks down the questions that actually determine profitability, retention, and scale in franchised businesses. So let's just hop right into it. What's the biggest marketing mistakes you see franchise owners make over and over again? That one's easy. That one is so easy. It's not investing enough in marketing. Okay, I'll tell you a story. There's a guy who owned one really large big box gym. And he was like, I'm going to be so aggressive on marketing. Nobody in my marketplace is going to outspend me. And his partner, his business partner, thought he was a little crazy, and he pushed back against him. He said, no, I'm going to do it. So he did it for a full year and a half. Well, wouldn't you know it, he was accelerating so fast. His business partner and the investment group that was behind him said, you know what, we're going to open more. Let's go four locations. They ended up opening 4 locations and kept the same mindset of we're going to outspend all of our competitors. And they are the number one in their marketplace, and nobody's even a close second. And they spend $20,000 a month per location, which is absolutely crazy. Nobody spends even close to that. That's bananas. That's like unbelievable. So the answer to your question is, people underspend or don't spend. They don't invest. They don't invest enough in their marketing because they look at it as an expense. And it's not an expense if you're getting a return on your investment. So if you put $1 in and get $1.50 to $2 back out every time, wouldn't you make that trade all day long? Yeah, I'd make that trade all day long. So you got to reframe your thinking, and that's the biggest mistake I see. Okay, next question. How do I compete locally when other franchisees or corporate are advertising in my market? Okay, if I understand the question correctly, you're saying that corporate's using their national franchise fund to advertise in your market, and you're also doing your own local marketing, and you feel like there's overlap. How do you compete with that? Just do it. You just have to do it, because a lot of times the national campaigns are real hit and miss. They're sporadic. They're not going to feed you as much as you need. It's basically just so you have a presence in that market. Ad spend's probably real limited or low in that area, and they're probably running some major national campaigns, and the targeting is probably more carpet bomb canvas technique versus like super local, because they're trying to also get franchises sold. So I would say just do it. Make sure that you focus on what you can control and invest heavily in your own marketing. All right, next question. Oh, new subject. Cool. How do I improve conversion rates from leads to paying customers without sounding salesy? That's a good question. We have something that's real simple that we give to a lot of the franchises that we work with at Leadline called the ABC framework. It's a really simple framework, and we have tested it over and over and over again. And we have consistently found that when franchisees follow this framework, the conversion rate will go up at least 25 to 30%, but sometimes doubles or triples. And so it's not complicated or rocket science, and it will not make you sound salesy. So I'm going to give it to you in a really brief nutshell. A is about, B is benefits, C is close. Okay. A lot of times people are vomiting just words, and they're talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and they're never listening. And so I've said this before, talking is pushing, listening is pulling. I was at a pickleball place the other night playing pickleball indoors, and a new instructor came by and saw me drilling, and he wanted to close me as a client. He was trying to get me as a client. And so all he did was vomit this and vomit that, and drills and this and that. He just didn't stop talking. He didn't even know my name before he had like 4 paragraphs in. I'm like, dude, breathe and ask me questions. Get to know me. Get to know what I want. Figure out who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, relax. I can smell your commission breath from a mile away. So what you want to do here is you want to, A is about, find out about that person. Find out about their goals. Find out about why they want to accomplish what they want to accomplish and why that's important to them. It's all about them. And if you can do the about part right, which is like discovery, and spend most of your time there, 9 out of 10 times you're going to lead to a much higher conversion rate just by doing that one thing right. The second thing is, don't sell what you're selling, because you're not selling amenities, you're not selling programs, you're not selling access. You're selling benefits, and you're selling the benefits that ties back into why they want to accomplish their goals in the first place. So B is benefits, and then C is close. When you close, you don't have to sound salesy. All you do is close, and you lightly overcome objections, and that's another video. But if you follow that ABC framework, I promise you'll convert extremely high. We have data to prove it. Real quick, if you're getting some value out of this, hit that subscribe button. Let's get back to it. All right, next question. How do I turn happy customers into referrals and reviews consistently, not just occasionally? Okay, so we're talking about two things here. You got to ask, first of all, because you have happy customers and you want those happy customers to actively refer you to others, other customers, other members, and you want them to leave reviews, right? So let's talk about two things. The reviews. You need a push button system that'll automate the review process for you, because that way it's so much easier using text messages. You can use AI. I won't dive too deep into that, but it's super easy to have that automation in place to where you, at the click of a button, somebody says, man, I love this place. Great. Click. Now they're getting a solicitation. Hey, leave us a review. Oh, okay, great. I will. And then the AI goes in and intelligent replies to that review to get your Google places really super active and hot. Secondly, referrals. You got to have some sort of referral incentive at the point of sale, where you have hard systems in business, you have soft systems. This would be considered a soft system. A soft system is where you have a standard operating procedure that is in place and is followed over and over again through maybe a checklist, and everyone's well trained on it and they know how to ask. So your front desk or your salespeople are always asking for referrals at the point of sale. In the right way. They're not just handing out cards, they're not just giving out passes, they're actually know how to facilitate that process. So you need a system in place, a soft system, to help facilitate those referrals on a regular basis. Hope that helps. All right, couple more and then we'll be done. When does it make sense to open a second or third location, and what should be in place first? Oh, actually, this ties into what we were just talking about. So, number one, if your first location is not killing it, don't do it. Not yet. You're not ready. Number two, if your first location can't run perfectly clean without you there, don't do it. You don't have enough systems in place at that point yet. What you need is you need to create a lot of systems so that the business runs really smooth and really, really well without your presence, and will grow without you being there. If that happens, then you're ready to open up number 2 and number 3 and start scaling. One of the mistakes I see, unless you're backed by private equity, is growing too quickly early on. So what I would do is open 1, get it really dialed in, locked in, then open number 2 and prove to yourself that you can duplicate the process. A lot of times people open the second one and fail. But sometimes if they're really good operators and they do have a good system in place, they open a second one and it succeeds again. Then you open number 3, a little shorter timeline. And if you could do that 3 times in a row and see good to moderate success at all 3 locations, then you can start opening 2 or 3 locations per a year and self-funding those locations. Don't jump the gun. Make sure you get the first 2 right. Okay. All right. Last question. If you were starting over today as a franchise owner, what would you focus on in your first 90 days? Whew. That is so fun. I actually have thought about this. I thought, like, if I was a franchise owner and I was going to redo franchising again, what would I do? I would come in so hot. It would be unbelievable. My goal would be to break the franchise records. So often we think in minimums. We always think, what is the minimum or the base? Like, for example, I always hear, I'll ask a franchisee, how many members are you trying to open with? They'll be like, maybe 100, 200. And I'm like, my question now would be like, what's the franchise record? What's the most amount of members anyone's ever opened up with? I want to break that record. and start reverse engineering how to do that. Because even if you fall short, you're going to be way ahead of the average, right? But if you're shooting for the average or the below average or the bare minimum and you fall short, you're going to be cooked, right? So you need to aim higher and bigger and think bigger and zoom out and like think what could be possible and then create a plan. Don't just think that's just a dream. You have to actually create a tactical plan. Like how much ad spend is it going to take to get that many leads, to convert that many people and to get that many members, to get that many sales? How many cross sales or back end sales is it going to take to be able to do that? How many staff members is it going to take to facilitate all those pre-sale transactions? So you have to create a really tactical strategic plan to do that. But nobody thinks like this, like ever, like 1 in a million people. Don't think in the law of averages or minimums or like what can I barely get by with so that way I don't fail. Think of how can I crush the national record for this franchise and become the number one in the system, and reverse engineer what you need to do for that and go kill it. That's what I would do. So anyway, I hope that helps. This has been awesome. Thank you guys for your questions. Thank you for submitting your commonly asked questions. We've heard a lot of these over and over again. I hope those helped. If you need more information, feel free to reach out, DM me, and I'd love to help you. And if you're interested in diving deeper, check out this next video. You'll love it.